I'm going to take you through our financial education system. And, the financial education system are proven steps that will get you to the summit of security and financial independence. And of course, we highly recommend that you actually get a financial advisor or financial professional who you can actually trust and sit down with so that you can get help to going to your financial goals. So the first is financial education. So there's obviously a reason why we focus on getting educated, because we believe that education is powerful and that when you have the tools and you have the knowledge, then you can actually make sound decisions about money, right? Second is secure proper protection. So in America today, there is a percentage of people, big percentage of people that actually either are underinsured or do not have life insurance. So inadequate life insurance or not covered at all. And for those people who are covered, a lot of them just rely on the coverage that they get from work, right? And a lot of that is a term policy, which they don't actually own. So the moment that they get terminated or, they transfer to another job, they lose all of that. None of that they actually can carry with them, right? So it's important that we get the right protection, the right kind of life insurance coverage for us, and we make sure that we have adequate amount. Next is we want to make sure that we create an emergency fund. In America today, there's actually only 37% of Americans that are able to handle a $400 emergency. Can you believe that? I mean, we live obviously in one of the greatest countries in the world, but we have this kind of financial problems. So many people are actually living quiet lives of desperations out there, and they need what we have. They need what we do. We want to encourage people to have a stash of cash lying around or available to them in the event of unforeseen circumstances. Sometimes you could have home repairs that would come up, car repairs, right? Or someone would be sick and all of a sudden you have to go to the ER or somebody gets hospitalized, right? So emergency fund can come handy during those circumstances. Fourth is debt management. So obviously, one of the biggest problems that lack of education has actually caused us is overwhelming debt. So many people actually do not know how to manage debt, right? So we can teach people some ways on how they can actually tackle paying off their debt, whether it be snowballing or whether it be, avalanche or whether it be debt consolidation. We can actually direct them to the right person. We can direct them to the companies that we work with, to help them with debt management, help them with debt consolidation. And we can supply them with these tools like the ones I mentioned with the snowballing and avalanche, okay? Next is increase cash flow. Now, when I think of increasing cash flow, there's actually two things that come to my mind. Either you spend less or you work more, right? And when you ask people whether they want to spend less money or they want to work more hours, normally their answer is none of them, right? Because you want to spend time with family and not work more, and you want to be able to buy what you want, right? And make yourself feel good. And so one of the things that we can actually help people as far as increasing their cash flow is to actually show them the business opportunity that we have. By generating additional stream of income to the household is going to help them increase their cash flow, right? And of course, once we get that done, this will help us eliminate debt faster. And of course, we can also focus on compounding our money faster. And so the key is you want to examine your debt, you want to manage it properly, and of course, you also want to make sure you reduce expenses as well, and look at opportunities wherein you can generate additional income to improve your cash flow. Number 6 is we want to build wealth, right? So now, of course, we talked about financial education. And so, by the way, with the financial education, the way we get this done is we have the books. The How Money Works book, Stop Being a Sucker, How Money Works book for women. And both of these books actually provide tangible steps and, financial concepts for people that they can actually implement in their financial lives, right? So we talked about financial education, getting yourself educated. We also talked about getting properly protected with adequate and the right kind of life insurances. We also talked about creating an emergency fund, which is solid, robust, and is available for you in times of need. And also tackling our debt, right? And increasing the cash flow. So now, when all of that is set up, then you want to be able to focus on building wealth. And that's number 6 in our 7 money milestones. And building wealth, actually, as much as it may sound like it's a pie in the sky, right? The important thing with that is you actually have to start as early as possible. Now, obviously, for the reasons that are obvious when we talk about compounding interest and the power of time, right? Because money is time. The sooner you start, the better. Building wealth means you want to focus on asset accumulation. So when you sit down with your trusted financial professional, you want to talk to them about finding the financial vehicles and tools that fits your needs that can help you improve your asset accumulation so that, at this point in time, while you're young, and you have the ability to make income from your job, you can actually set aside money every single month, right? And put it into something that will grow and compound for you. The last one is protecting wealth. So when everything is said and done, you've worked hard for 20, 30, 40 years of your life, you made sure that you have an adequate emergency fund, that you're protected, that you have the education, right? And what are all this wealth that you've built if it's not protected? Right? So the last step in the 7 money milestone is to protect wealth. And this is actually very critical because you want your hard-earned money to go to the right hands and not to go to the court system. Right? So many of these examples that we've seen, like Hollywood actors and actresses that all of a sudden, died and their estate is not protected because they did not have everything in place. And so what happens is now their assets are frozen, right? And just imagine, some people would actually think that it's costly to actually take care of protecting your wealth. However, I will submit to you that it's actually more costly to your family in terms of money and also in terms of emotional distress, right? To actually deal with probate during the time that they actually have to grieve for your loss, and then they actually have to, settle all of this outside of grieving for your loss. So with this, understanding the 7 money milestones is my challenge to you is do it while you're young. Do it now as soon as possible if you haven't. And let the 7 money milestones propel you to security and financial independence. And by the way, if you're not young, I don't want you to feel discouraged. Don't feel bad, because as much as the best time to start saving money was yesterday, but I tell you that the next best time is actually today.